Hey there guys, how's it going? So this is a small update to the video I posted at the beginning of 2016, somewhere in February I think, um, for fan control. Uh, since then I've gone through a couple different OSs. I was on Ubuntu Mate at the time, which for all intents and purposes I'm going to recommend forever to anyone who's starting Linux. I've been on Linux for around 11 years, so I kind of wanted a challenge, and during college I started to kind of play around with Arch. It was kind of cool, kind of And finally I just kind of said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna look at Arch systems. Looked at Arch systems, and I was using Netrunner, but I recently got Antergos to work, so I'm on that. So the small update that I wanted to make to the fan video, to the AMD fan control video, was just basically OS, and that I found a GUI version of the same control method that I had before. Though this is a little bit more involved than that, and I'll show you what I mean. Let me just shrink this down and let's drop it down here. Why don't we? So first, the GUI version is, yes, right here. So this is the GUI version of the same fan control scripts, same driver. It's had a significant update, like a significant update. Also, since then, I've upgraded GPUs. I'm not on my 250X anymore, which is the card that I was having problems with the ATI driver. The new driver had come out, and for some reason, my card had lost fan support for whatever reason. This is not the case with this card because it's a R7 370. I would be on AMD GPU if, if it had support. So, as you can see, there's a couple things going on here. We have the overall stuff. It displays your fan speed right here, and you have different things like I can set, if I go down to the bottom tab and go to fan control, I can set a fixed speed and set it to 100% if I really wanted to. I can have it go to auto, and it just auto does it based on what the GPU is telling the driver, not optimal. And then the fan curve, the custom fan curve like I had originally set up. Now, I actually recently had a problem where it wasn't so much that the fan wasn't spinning, it wasn't spinning fast enough. So I had to make my own fan curve here, and it's actually helped my performance significantly. What was happening was the game would crash out, and it could be a very intensive game. It could be something like City Skylines, one of my favorite games, actually. And my card would overheat because it would only go as fast as probably about 60%. Probably not even 60%, 50%. It wouldn't even be at 75. It wouldn't go anywhere past that. And the system wouldn't tell me anything. There wasn't anything in the Zorg server, like stuff. It would just, the screen would go black and everything would die, but I could still interact with the system. I could still open a terminal. It would make the little whoosh sound. I've turned those sounds off in case I open a terminal during the video because those are very annoying. But I could still talk to my friends. I could still listen to music. So I made this custom fan curve, and it fixed everything. So if you're having that problem, just as a note, do this. But you get to set a fan curve, you get graphs. There is an overclocking feature, but there's a separate package that you have to install that I have not installed because I don't need to. You have your GPU summary. It basically just tells you all your info, like, oh, how fast is my memory clock? It's 1200 megahertz right now. I can get it to 2 gigahertz. But I've done it before. I don't know what this is. Something for probably benchmarks and shit. Execs. Events. So, like, if your fan like doesn't work, or something on the card breaks, or the driver has to say something. You know, you got that. Just a basic configuration of stuff like color graphs. You got your main screen stuff like, oh, I want all of these and I want all of these. I don't actually want those, but I do actually want all of these checked. Refresh intervals 5 seconds. There. About everyone made it, and yeah, that's about it. You can choose what power you have. If you're on a laptop, battery, balance, performance. I'm on a desktop, so it doesn't matter that much. And then you have your speed, basically your speed of your processor. So you have 450 megahertz here, 1200 here. This is core clock of the GPU itself, and this is memory clock right here. So if I set it to auto, it just does whatever it's doing. I don't have a game running right now, so it's kind of weird to see it going up and down like this, but it might be running a video somewhere and I'm not seeing it. So that's the wrong thing. So if I go to low, it'll drop it down to 300 megahertz, and 1200 the memory clock won't move. If I drop it to high, it'll go to 1050 and 1200, and the heat will go up. The heat will start to go up maddeningly. I just leave it at auto, and it really doesn't matter. You have these drop downs. You also have these buttons over here under DPM, which are the same things. I also leave it under performance because that will automatically change the power ratings to what it needs to be at all times. So if I'm loading a 4K video or something, that'll do as it will. I'm also running it out of terminal because I have to run it in root to actually get access to fan control and everything. So that is a thing that you need to do. So yeah. Very tired. It is very early in the morning right now, so I'm rather quiet, so sorry if I'm harder to hear. So in Arch, you have the option to build everything that you need, or you can install it just straight up over terminal. You can get GUI stuff to install stuff, but there's not really a reason to, especially since I like to use terminal for everything. So we're going to open another terminal here, and I'll just show you like for Discord, let's say. So if we do cd builds, we're in our builds folder. Here's all of our things. We have like the Radeon profile thing. This is actually the source code for the tool here. So let's do Discord Canary, huh? So CD, we'll just drop that in. Something I've learned from from OSX. So you know, there's nothing much in the folder. You know, you'd think, oh, I do Discord Canary. I'll say no. Make package tick SRI, and it just builds. Now I was playing around with Discord Canary, so it's broken, but it's not that much work to get the Radeon tool built. So I don't know about for Ubuntu or OpenSUSE. I think SUSE actually has it come with the system if you have that as your default driver, so that is something that you kind of already get. As for Ubuntu, I think there's a .deb somewhere, and I'm not really sure of where it's located, so maybe it's built in. Otherwise, just keep doing the script thing. You don't necessarily need the GUI thing, but for my purposes, the ability to have graphs right on the dot is pretty useful. Maybe not for you, it will be, you specifically user, but for me, it's definitely been helpful in debugging what has been freaking my system out, so you know, that's for you to decide for your own. Other than that, that's really all I wanted to add to the last video. So, I'm gonna go to bed. Maybe I'll have another bowl of stir fry before I go to bed, but in total, I'm gonna go to bed. And I hope adding on to this last video has helped someone, because apparently that's the most popular video on this channel for whatever reason. Meh. Hey, if you got a fucking use Linux. All for you. Good night. I'm not even gonna bother editing this because I don't fucking care that much.